Welcome back to another episode here. Today we will be talking about the NFL moves that have happened so far, the NFL moves that we may see in the coming future, and what we will need to expect coming into NFL free agency. The first big move we saw happen this offseason was we saw the Detroit Lions trade Matthew Stafford to the Los Angeles Rams for Jared Goff, a 2021 third-round pick, a 2022 first-round pick, and a 2023 first-round pick. I think this move will help impact the Rams, and it will help impact Stafford as a player, because one thing Stafford has not had in his career is a good coach, and which he has in Sean McVay, and I think he will do well down in Los Angeles. They have a great defense down there. And I think this makes the Rams a Super Bowl contender. So another big move we saw happen was J.J. Watt asked to be released by the Texans, and the Texans released him. And we expected him to sign with a team like the Packers, the Browns, the Titans. But surprisingly, he shocked us all and signed with the Arizona Cardinals. And I think this will help impact the Cardinals' defense, definitely, because we saw Kyler Murray was playing very well last year. The Cardinals were 6-3, coming off momentum in the Bills game. And then Kyler Murray gets hurt in the Week 11 Cardinals-Seahawks game. And then the Cardinals season just didn't go well, and they finished 8-8 and barely missed out in the playoffs. But if we see on this defense, if Patrick Peterson can return to Pro Bowl form, if a player like Budda Baker, we saw an impact he had on the Cardinals last year. They have young guys like Isaiah Simmons and Byron Murphy. Adding J.J. Watt to that defensive line will make them good. And I think something that shocked us a lot is J.J. Watt said he wants to go to a Super Bowl contender. And I don't think the Cardinals are there yet. I think they need at least 1 or 2 years to get to that level. But the way the Cardinals offense was playing last year, if you add J.J. Watt to that defense, and if their defense can play well, this Cardinals team can be scary. And I think they will be a playoff team this year. So the last trade we have seen happen this offseason is Carson Wentz getting traded to the Indianapolis Colts for a 2021 second-round pick. I think this will help impact the Colts. We saw Phillip Rivers retire. If Carson Wentz can return back to MVP form, the Colts will be good. We see the weapons they have on offense, T.Y. Hilton, Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack, and a good defense with Justin Houston, DeForest Buckner, Darius Leonard, Kenny Moore, Malik Hooker. And if Carson Wentz can get back to MVP form, this Colts team can be a Super Bowl contender. I mean, I know Frank Wright was his offensive coordinator in 2017, the year where the Eagles won the Super Bowl. And this whole team is dependent on Carson Wentz. If he goes out and he plays well, the Colts are a Super Bowl contender. And I think they will be a playoff team. But if Carson Wentz plays like an MVP, they have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl. We will be talking about right now is Deshaun Watson. And we see Deshaun Watson has requested a trade from Houston after not being happy with what they've been doing down there. What mainly started this is we saw last year the trade for DeAndre Hopkins, the Arizona Cardinals. And since then, Deshaun Watson wasn't been happy with Houston. And Houston said they're not trading Deshaun Watson, but he's going to get traded. Some team's going to offer too big of a deal that they can just not turn down. We saw it happen with Jalen Ramsey. We saw it happen with Jamal Adams. It's going to happen with Deshaun Watson. And I think the best spot he fits would either be the Dolphins or the Jets. I think you offer him to the Dolphins, trade Tua and maybe 2 first-round picks they got. The Texans, they traded 2 first-round picks to the Dolphins for only Laramie Tunsil and Kenny Stills. At that time, I get they needed another wide receiver and another left tackle, but they're not 2 first-round pick worthy. And I think you get Tua there, and then you can draft 2 other weapons, get the 3rd pick in the draft, and you get another first-round pick. This works out well for the Texans, and I think Deshaun Watson can go down to Miami and do well down there and will make the Dolphins a playoff team. And I think the Jets could be another team he could go to. I think you offer him, Sam Darnold, both first-round picks, and I think that will make the Jets better. We saw they ended the season playing well when they beat both the Rams and the Browns, who both ended up with a playoff win. And yeah, I think I see Deshaun Watson can go to the Panthers too. I see them giving up maybe Bridgewater and 2 first-round picks. I don't think they should try to give up Christian McCaffrey, but we saw their offense was playing well even without Christian McCaffrey last year. But I think you bring in Deshaun Watson with Christian McCaffrey, that's even a better duo, alongside DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Curtis Samuel, and that may work out. Another quarterback that we see could possibly be traded is Russell Wilson. And Russell Wilson has said that he wants to play for Seattle, but he wants Seattle to go out and make some more moves. And some teams they're saying he might go to would be the Saints, the Bears, or the Raiders. I think the best spot he can go to is the New Orleans Saints. Especially we see Drew Brees probably on his way out. You bring in Russell Wilson, I think the Saints could win the Super Bowl. Russell Wilson has been playing great his last few seasons, just he hasn't had a good offensive line, and that's what's caused him to get hit, and that's what he's been frustrated with in Seattle. But their sources are saying that he kind of wants to go to the Bears, and that's something that confused me a little bit because I'm like, would you rather have on your team David Montgomery, Allen Robinson, and Anthony Miller as your offensive weapons instead of DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Chris Carson? Seattle and Chicago have the same problems on offense. They both have not a good offensive line, but Seattle has more weapons. I mean, the Bears have a better defense, but you'll find better weapons in Seattle, and you'll play a lot better in Seattle than you would in Chicago. So that's what surprises me. I mean, I could see him wanting to go to the Saints because the Saints have Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Jared Cook, but Chicago is very surprising to me, and I guess we'll see what ends up happening. I mean, like I said, Russell Wilson says he wants to play for the Seahawks. He doesn't want to get traded, but we'll just see what happens. We saw yesterday the Dallas Cowboys re-signed Dak Prescott to a 4-year contract, and this had worked well the whole time for the Cowboys. The Cowboys were saying the whole time he's their future, but they never gave him the money, which they could have. They had the chance last year, but Dak was playing extremely well last year until he had that horrendous injury, and that just threw their whole season off. And I think the Cowboys could be a Super Bowl contender. You get, with the 10th overall pick, maybe draft Patrick Surtain or maybe an offensive lineman in the first round, which could make the Cowboys good next year. And we'll start off talking about the franchise tag with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We saw the Buccaneers franchise tag Chris Godwin, and they did re-sign Levante David, and they want to bring back Shaq Barrett, and I think Shaq Barrett wants to come back to Tampa, just you don't know if they have the money to it. And remember, all those guys, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, they're all on 1-year contracts, so the Buccaneers want to bring them back, but you just don't know if they have the money to do it. But we saw other players not get franchise tagged: Kenny Galladay, Aaron Jones, Chris Carson. So you don't know what this means for these teams in the future going forward, and that's it.